but never did I ever know that you could be an independent car shop or an independent person and be a member. I
Mhm.
always thought you had to be a manufacturer to be a
Mhm.
member of SEMA.
Welcome to the Gearheads and Gasoline podcast, where we dive into the high-octane world of market-leading shop owners, shop employees, and automotive enthusiasts from the aftermarket, restoration, performance, and racing industries. So strap in as we take you on an awesome journey with our guests as they share their real-life stories, lessons learned, business advice, and unfiltered insights to help you beat the school of hard knocks. Gearheads and Gasoline, fueling your success.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gearheads and Gasoline, powered by Redline Oil and AMD. I'm Barry Alt with Motorhead Digital, and my co-host is Annette Bauer with Annette Bauer Creative. We're excited to welcome Tony D'Antonio, the owner of D'Antonio Automotive, to the Gearheads and Gasoline podcast.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're
Yay!
excited
Thanks,
to have
Tony,
you,
for
man.
being here. Yay, I love
Yes,
it.
thanks.
So I did get an opportunity to meet you recently, which was really cool, because all too often we meet with guests, but I don't get to meet them until we get to SEMA, or if there's some, crazy event that happens that I happen to be back in that direction that I get to meet. So it's nice that I got to actually meet you before we were on the podcast. So this is super cool.
Yeah, that was fun that all of us were at the same event together. And I've done a few of these where you walk in and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to be talking about or who. But it was nice to actually meet and go, wow, these guys are awesome. I'd love to be on their podcast.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for being here, man.
No problem.
Absolutely.
Thank
We
you.
had a great time. That was a great event. It happens every 2 years where SEMA brings all the councils and networks together, and we get some work done.
Yeah,
We
it
did.
is
We did a lot.
it was absolutely one of the coolest events. Like for us, as me being a member of SBN, we always have like our LRP every year, and it's really great and it's super fun to spend that independent time with the ladies and really just kind of knock some of those things out. But I really enjoyed being able to be at the councils and networks because you get to hear everybody's pain points. And you kind of have an opportunity to really talk about what those things are, which helps me in my business and also helps me understand what is changing in the market and in the industry. So I really enjoyed it, on top of being able to meet a bunch of really great people. So including yourself.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got to go to the gala and everything, get the suit out and make sure it fits before I head to California. That was me going, does this fit? I don't know. But
It's buttoned.
You're right.
yeah,
Right.
I had to wear a tie. I had to remember how to tie a tie, for God's sake. So, but yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
That
was really great.
That was a fun time. And that was actually my first one. So I went in there knowing essentially nobody. Another buddy of mine that actually got me into SEMA, he was voted on to Torah at the same exact time. So I went in there knowing one person. So we went in, and by the time I left, I knew everybody. So It was great.
Yeah. This was my first year too, but I agree. Like, I mean, I knew more people than you did, but but I mean, like going into the experience with fresh eyes and that fresh experience was really cool, right? It kind of gives you a different perspective versus like the next time that we go do it. Now we'll have a little bit of like, we know what to expect. We'll also know a lot more people. So it will be a completely different experience, but all positive.
I think the one thing that was wild to me is that I've been observing SEMA from an outside view for many, many years. I always thought it was just a car show. And then once I got involved with SEMA in the last year doing stuff for the PAC, I got to learn about SEMA as an organization. And then once I got to the gala event, I learned that every single person in this room is just as involved and driven to make a change as me and you and you. It's wild to be in a room with so many like-minded, equally driven people. And you're like, I felt like I'm home. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is awesome.
Right. Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my second year, so you guys are rookies.
Yeah.
But I can say I knew how it was. I can tell you this: it was ran totally different than it was 2 years ago. 100% better. I learned a lot more, but I felt more comfortable this time than I did last time because I just knew kind of the flow of things. Um, but also with Tony, you saying that I've been finding it very interesting that so many people think SEMA is just a big car show that happens one time a year in Vegas. And there's so much more than that. It's an industry event that just happens to have a huge car show in it. But that's not the main point of SEMA.
Right. But I mean, you bring up a good point, and this is actually one of the things I know that we talked about in several of the breakout sessions that we did. And I know we're getting off topic, but this is important, is that that right, that is the problem that SEMA has had historically, is really branding themselves as a an association that is an organization that is really there for the greater good of the industry, not just a car show, right? Like we talked about specifically, like how, if you're in social media specifically, kind of branching into the marketing element of it, is how, if you're going to put up a post or you're going to share something about what is happening in your shop or at the track or with your team or whatnot, if you are part of SEMA in some way, the only way that you have to tag SEMA for the general public is SEMA show. Right. Mm-hmm. So, which goes back to, it's just a car show, right? So I do appreciate that they're looking at more organic ways to be able to brand SEMA as a different organization that is there for the industry, not just for a car show. And I think that they're really starting to realize that, okay, like what this initially started at did work, right? But now we've expanded that so much more, and the way that we are influencing the industry has significantly changed. So that means that we need to kind of rebrand and change that marketing aspect.
And it's interesting too, you say that it's also affecting the average vehicle owner with the PAC and action committee and all that kind of stuff that's going on, as far as looking at laws and other things that are not good for the industry, or on the flip side are good for the industry, right? Mm-hmm. That we're advocating to support and get passed or get struck down or whatever, right? And that trickles all the way down to the average car owner that isn't even working in the industry but likes to modify their car, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that that whole event, I think the big thing for me was we talked in various groups about awareness. Mm-hmm. So I've been in the auto industry my entire life. I've known of the SEMA show since I was a child, but never did I ever know that you could be an independent car shop or an independent person and be a member. I always thought you had to be a manufacturer to be a member of SEMA. I knew you could attend the show as a car shop, but I didn't know a car shop itself could be a member. And then I had no clue that there's committees. So after getting involved and learning all of this, it was like, oh my God, there's so much to do. I want to do it all. It was great.
Yeah, a lot of people see the manufacturing side of it. That's a huge part of it, right? And even when I joined, I was like, I knew about SEMA for years, right? Mm-hmm. And but when we created Motorhead Digital, I was like, can I join SEMA now? Do they take services, right? Because we're a service, right? But we support the automotive aftermarket, and they do. And I was really like, oh, this is awesome. And then as with you, I learned about the councils and stuff and said, hey, I got to do this. So
that was me. I love being involved. So sign me up.
Right. Right. Yeah. 100%. No, I love it. I mean, kind of similar to you, Tony, is like being involved in the automotive industry since I was a kid, and really just kind of, as you get older, kind of figuring out like, hey, this is my purpose. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I can make the greatest impact. This is where my passion is. Fill in the blanks, all of those things. Exactly. Right. Like it's nice that, again, when you can come to a space that you're with like-minded people who are just as passionate and just as concerned and care about what is happening in our industry, about keeping it moving forward, about bringing in more of that younger generation to take up the slack for what is going to age out, because it doesn't matter what genre of our industry that you're in, like every industry has an aging out problem right now, right? Like we have to figure out how to keep our younger generations involved and help them keep innovating to move it forward. So I thought it was a super great event, and I'm really glad that I got to meet you, and now we can get back on topic.
I'll add one last thing. Anybody listening to this, if you're in the automotive industry and you want to get involved, there are 9 councils and networks. We're all looking for volunteers to help out with different things, at-large volunteers and things like that. And at-large volunteers actually have gone on to be council members and even directors, chairman, things like that. So please, we do need the support of at-large members as well.
Yep, 100%.
Do it for SEMA.
I love it.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win.
Formulated to win.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Okay, so now back to our regular scheduled program. So, Tony, we kick off every podcast with a little bit of a different question than you might experience in other shows. And that is, what is your favorite drink?
Oh, my favorite drink.
And it could be anything. There's no rule here.
So right now, I kind of have my 2. I start every day off with a Celsius, always. Celsius is what I start my day off with. Celsius, if you're watching this, I'd love to be a brand ambassador for you.
Oh, jeez. Okay, what that was at the 11-minute 30.
Yeah, delete. No, so Celsius is what I absolutely love, and then I have this weird obsession with sparkling water. So I drink seltzer water and Celsius all day.
So you're just go ahead.
Hmm? No,
go ahead.
No.
I was going to say you're just full of carbonation.
Yes. So I have a thing called Crohn's disease, and what that means is I'm very selective with what I can eat and drink. Up until my late 20s, my go-to drink was an old fashioned. I love bourbon.
I hear you.
My stomach does not like bourbon now. So if you had asked me the question about 5 years ago, I'd be like, a Woodford old fashioned, please. Now it's I'll take sparkling water. Lot changes after 30.
Yeah, wait till you get after 50. A lot changes there too.
Wait till you get after 60. I get to go test for pre-Crohn's. Like they say, you're on the edge. I'm like, no. I like my old fashions.
Yeah, no, that was it. Like we'll go out. My wife loves them, and it's like I watch her, and I'm like, can I just have like a sip? And she's like, you're gonna regret it. Okay, like it's so good. And then like the next day, I'm like, God, my stomach is killing me.
Right.
But yeah,
you just have to suffice for like smelling it and being like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's actually funny. She actually bought me bourbon scented body wash, so I rubbed myself down with bourbon scented body wash. Like,
alrighty,
this is delicious.
Right, that's as close as you can get to it. It's totally acceptable.
Yeah, bourbon soap.
Tony, we know you mentioned that you've been a car guy all your life, right?
Yeah.
And really wanted to understand where that started with working in your parents' driveway when you were 19 and how that ended up, owning a shop and things like that.
Yeah, that story's long. So, brief background to me. Prior to my existence, my father, he ran an automotive repair shop for up until I was teenager. So when my dad was 15, 16, he started working on cars with his father. My dad went to trade school in the mid 1970s and started working at a local mom and pop shop. Back then, I don't know if they have this on the West Coast, but on the East Coast, we had a fuel chain called Arco. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yep.
Yeah, Atlantic, Ridgefield. So my dad and his buddy owned an Arco together. My dad ran the shop. His buddy ran the offices. And over the years, their business grew to be a very successful shop. The shop got bigger. They built on. And it was, by the time it closed, it was a Sunoco. So by the time I came along, my dad and my uncle, we'll call him, were running the shop together. And my mom and us, we only lived a few blocks. So she'd walk me up there every day just on my daily walks. And I get to hang out at my dad's shop. Well, as I got older, I would go in on Saturdays and wash cars, sweep up, empty trash, plug a tire. Like, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So from kindergarten on, I wanted to be at the shop every single day. Now, my life in this car world started on the service side. So it wasn't necessarily anti-cars, it was just service. Now, my grandfather, my dad's dad, he had been retired since before I was born, and him and my father, their hobby was restoring and fixing classic cars. My dad and grandfather purchased a 1930 Ford Model A 5-window coupe body 3 days before I was born. My mom tells it that they were at a car show with a swap meet on a Sunday, and she's sitting there blown up like, I want this kid out of me now. And my dad and my pop-up walk up with a freaking frame. And she's like, what the hell is that? He goes, we're building a Model A. And she's like, I'm about to pop. And you're like, we're going to spend money on restoring a car. So that was 3 days before I was born. Now, Italian families, my dad would spend all of his free time at his mom's house. So my grandmother and us only lived a few blocks apart. So a few nights a week, my dad would go straight to his mom's house to work on the Model A with his father, and my mom would bring me there. So there's photos of me in diapers holding like tools and wiping it down and riding around. So since the time I was literally walking, classic cars are what I knew as like, this is what my family does. So between my dad's repair shop and my grandfather and father restoring a Model A from the day I was born, that kind of built the whole, how do I combine these? I want to fix cars, but I really only like old cars. And that's how D'Antonio Automotive was essentially born.
Nice.
Yeah. Awesome.
That is very cool. I love the throwback in the story of you working in the shop of, like going in and sweeping floors and doing, because my dad, he very similar, like he worked at a gas station when I was a kid. And so he taught me how to wrench on cars when I was little, but that was my first experience in like what you're saying, the service side of things. And I got to come in after school and did the exact same thing. Like I was like, I just want to be here and I just want to learn and I just want to do stuff. And he was like, great. He was he was all, there's a room to do that. I'm like, sweet. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And so I got to do a lot of different things, but I got to learn and I got to be around it and I got to spend time with my dad. Right. So like at that time, like those were all like in a perfect world scenario. Right.
Oh yeah. It gave you a certain level of freedom in your mind, but with your parents, they're like, I can still watch you, which was good. Yeah. So, I mean, it was great. By the time my dad's shop closed, so my father had some health problems and he wound up getting out of his half when I was in high school. And then my uncle continued to run it until like 2010, 2011. But when I was in high school, I was like the weekend manager. So I would be there all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and I would run the front office. If we were doing service work on a Saturday, I was the one, answering phones and all of that. Like, okay, sir, your car's done, or it needs blah, 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 blah. So I was doing front end management, pumping gas. And then after our regular business hours were then done, the kids that I was friends with that were just getting cars that had no money, that wanted to fix something, they were coming in afterwards, and I was fixing or attempting to fix my friends' cars at 17 in my dad's commercial shop. So it was a really interesting time because it gave you this ultimate level of freedom, but I knew my dad was watching me the entire time.
And it's that security, right? Like you knew, like, okay, yes, I have that freedom, like you're saying, but you knew in the back of your mind, like, there's that security blanket of like, he's there. So if something goes wrong, I'm okay.
Exactly. And there were many, many times the shop would close. Service was done by 6 o'clock. The pumps we'd shut off by 9, 11 o'clock. Dad, what? I have a car stuck on the lift. I can't figure out what the heck's wrong. Yeah, he's like,
can you come down here?
Putting on his clothes. I'm coming. And he cuts it like, what? It's this. Okay, done. I'm going home. Get this off of my lift. Okay.
Yeah.
That was my childhood.
Wow.
That's a pretty awesome job.
Yeah, for sure. And so when did you get to the point you're working on them in your parents' driveway that you actually started accepting cash for your work?
So that was right around the same time. So my dad got out in like 2004, 5, 6, somewhere. I was in high school. I remember that. My dad got out and my uncle took the whole shop over himself. I went to trade school right out of high school in 2008. And then I was working at a local car shop here. I knew that I wouldn't be taken seriously by my family, and they wouldn't really let me do what I wanted to do because in their minds, I'm always going to be 12. So I went to work for a family friend that my dad actually taught many years prior when he was young. So he took me under his wing and showed me a lot, like things that I guess my dad didn't want to show me at the time because he thought I couldn't figure it out. Like there was a lot of training wheels on when working with my father. But when working with the family friend, he's like, sink or swim, go. So they actually let me be a real tech. So I'm probably 19 now. I've been working there about a year. And his policy for doing work at the shop was much different than my father's. And I understand that. My dad would let me do whatever I wanted. This guy has a business to run.
Right.
So the cars that I was doing at my dad's shop, because at this point, my dad's shop, my uncle's shop had now closed. My uncle retired in 2011. He was done. So I didn't have any place to do this. So what I wound up doing was I started taking my friends' cars home and remembering all the stuff I had done at both businesses. But now, because I'm doing it at home and it's after work and now I'm like busy, I'm like, I got to start charging. So I started talking to my uncle. I'm like, what's a fair rate to charge people for doing work in your driveway? Like your hourly rate's this, and I charge a third of that? He's like, you probably charge half. So I started charging a minimal hourly rate to work on cars. And very quickly I realized there's a lot of money you can make fixing cars yourself. So it slowly turned into, at 19 years old, I launched an automotive repair business out of my parents' driveway. And I would say I remember it actually, March 18th, 2011 was my first day of me. That fall of 2010 into winter and spring of 2011, it got to the point where it was costing me money to go to my job. I had so much work lined up in my driveway that it would be more profitable for me to stay home from work and make money fixing those cars than it is to go to work and get paid $12.
Right.
So at that point, I mean, and what I was making in a month, I was making in 2 days in my driveway. So it was very quickly like, which one should I focus my time with? And my mom and dad fought me hard. They were like, you quit that job, you are out of here, like, you need this. And then I sat them down and I showed them a pile of cash. And I was like, here you go. And my mom and dad are like, are you selling drugs? I'm like, no, I'm not selling drugs. I'm fixing cars with my hands. And I showed them how much money I made in 1 week in my driveway. I'm like, Mom, this is more than I make in 3 months working at my job. It makes no sense for me to continue this. I'm focusing on this. Yeah, so it went back and forth for a while, and then to the point where my mom's like, I'm going to give you a month. You have 30 days to prove to me that you can do this. And the way that happened was March 17th, 2011, my boss at the time called me. Now, being here in the Northeast, back in 2011, it snowed a lot. In recent years, we don't get snow now. So we had blizzard after blizzard after blizzard that year. And that shop was so incredibly slow that the shop owner called me and he's like, Tony, I'm sorry. I haven't had work in weeks. I can't afford to pay you. I'm going to have to lay you off until the work
picks back up.
Comes in. And I'm like, okay. So that's when my mom was like, you have a month to prove to me that you can do this before I force you to go find a job. And that was 15 years ago.
Nice. And so to fast forward, how long did it take you to actually get a building and go that way?
So I have my state inspection license at that point. I'd had it since I was in tech school. I wound up meeting a dude a few months prior where him and his dad owned a car shop. And their shop was a little bit slower. So I wound up renting a bay from that guy when I needed to use a lift. So generally I was doing everything in my driveway. Jack stands. If it, rained, you got wet. If it was cold, you were cold. So my buddy and his dad let me rent a bay from them. And I was doing state inspections there because I'm a licensed inspector. So I moved my license there and then got to the point where I had more cars in their parking lot than they had of their own clients. And it started to cause a problem. And that's when I was like, I think I have to look for a building. Yeah. So 2013. So I had started renting bay space from my buddy's dad in the spring of 2012. So that first year, 2011, everything was at home. 2012, I started renting bay space from a buddy's dad. And then like January, February 2013 is when I leased a building. And the first one was in a town called Broomall, PA. And it was tiny. It was like 900 square feet, a garage door that you could fit 2 cars in. That's it. So I had bought a lift. When my uncle's shop closed, I bought his toolbox, a tire balancer, a tire mounter, and a scan tool. And he was nice enough to give me a payment plan because I didn't have any money. And he's like, I want to see you do well. So I set up my little 1-door, 2-angled car shop. And within 3 months, we realized this is significantly too small. So, yeah, the first shop was 2013. The first real size shop was 2014.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. This is Jason with AMD, and you're watching the Gearheads and Gasoline podcast. Check this out.
Nice.
Yeah. And the reason I'm very interested in this is because we're hoping younger people that really want to get into the business of restoring cars and classics and all that, you know, there is a grind you have to go through, right? Where you have to do certain things and work in the rain, laying your back in the snow, things like that before you get to a point where you can afford things, but don't give up, keep moving if it's something that you love to do. How did you shift from service work to classics? And because it sounds like that classics and restoration are really what you're doing now and your passion.
So the classic car hobby was always something that was huge. Since I was a very young kid, my family and I have always been involved with an organization called the Historical Car Club of PA. Ironically enough, I am currently the president. So it was founded in 1949. My grandfather joined in the late 70s, early 80s, and he added me as a member to his policy, his membership, the day I was born in not the day. I was born October of 89, and we have the oldest cars and coffee in the world. Just a fun fact. It's been going on since 1964, every morning on Thanksgiving. And we give out probably 1,000 donuts and 2,000 cups of coffee free.
Nice.
So on that particular show is when we renew memberships. So my grandfather added me to his membership November of 89. So I was a month old and I was a member of a car club. So the joke is when I ran for president in 2020, I was 30, but I had been a member for 30 years. And the people I was running against were like, I'm 30, they're like 50, 60 years old. They're like, I've been a member for 7 years. I've been a member for like 9. And this kid's been a member for 30 years. And it's like, hilarious. Well, I got a little bit of tenure on you. They're like, he's a child. So that's how the classic car thing started for me. Is my grandfather, retired, would drive me around in the Model A. They finished the Model A when I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4. So he would drive that thing every day. So I would go ride around with him, going to car shows and cruise nights and cars and coffees. It was great.
Yeah.
So I met all these really nice older gentlemen that were my grandfather's friends, and all of them had classic cars. Now, as those gentlemen got older, as with anything, doing manual labor gets incredibly hard. So we would go to these car shows and they'd be like, my Buick's having a problem. My Model A's having a problem. My Model T, blah, blah, blah. And the local shop has no idea what to do. My mechanic I've been using for 30 years died. So they were like, who do I go to? And I was like, well, my dad did my pop-ups. So I would convince them to let my father and I work on the vehicle. Now, what I've learned is I try to do everything myself. I thought I could run a business and wrench. My father knows more than I could ever know in my life. Like, he's one of the best classic techs I've ever met, ever. So I slowly figured out if I can reel them in, he can fix the car. So I wound up starting a business, doing most of the stuff that I could do myself. But when it got a little complicated for what I knew, I would bring in Dad. So it switched because with the car club growth and me growing in that club and having all these members that got too old to fix their own cars, we kind of became known as the classic car repair shop. And it went from new stuff, tires, brakes, inspections, classics to this. And all the new work started to dwindle away. And we started getting more and more classics in, to the point where my shop pretty much exclusively is just classics.
Nice.
All right. That's a cool story on how you ended up there. You mentioned to me or on our intake form about your first employee.
My dad, yeah.
And how that worked out and what the dynamic was like. Can you tell us about that? Because a lot of shops have problem finding people, right? And you had the ability to at least bring your dad in originally.
So my first employee was my father. And it's funny because the dynamic when you think of a family-run shop is you think father and son. Well, in my shop, it's reversed. So I started the business when I was 19, moved into my first commercial building at 22 or 23. And when I moved to the location I'm in now, I started to really need to look to hire to people because what we were doing was my dad was teaching at a trade school. And what was going on was you would either work 6 a.m. to noon, or the classes were 6 to noon. So you have to be there 5:30 to 2:30 or something. So he would work either evening shift or morning shift, and then a couple days a week come in to work for me, and I would pay him per, job. Like, hey, look, whatever the profit is on this, you can have half. Okay. So he would be like, I can do 2 days. I can do 3. And then it got like busier. I'm like, Dad, I need you more. So he's like, I've got PTO I can use for like a week. Do you want that? Yeah. So after we did that, it got to the point where the workflow kept pouring in. And I didn't know anybody that could work on a carburetor, a distributor, set, dwell. And people were like, what the hell is that?
What the hell is that?
Where do I plug it in? Yeah, you're not plugging in a Model A. So I was asking him, and it got to the point where he was like, the only way I can do this is if I quit my job. And I'm like, So we started talking back and forth, and I was looking at what the business did. And one day I went up to him and I was like, how much do you actually need? And he's like, why? I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can pay you to come on full time. And he's like, really? So we went back and forth. We agreed upon a number, and in the spring of 2015, I think, he started here, and he went full time. Now, the difference there is, just because I'm paying him doesn't mean he's going to listen to me. So I've got the business mindset, and he's got I'm your dad mindset. And mind you, I didn't have a beard then. And I was about 60 pounds less, so I looked like a literal child. So I'm there like, Dad, I need you to work on blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you're going to do what I say. Get back in there. Oh, Mr. So-and-so will be here at 3 o'clock, and he's going to be really, really mad. And he's like, no, that's not it. I'm going to do that. And it turned into this. So then we would involve Mom, and Mom would mediate between us.
The referee comes in.
He was my mom, and I'm the firstborn Italian son. I walk on water. So my mom was like, whatever my son says, you do. So thank you, Mom. We got it in. But it got to the point where the volume got so large, I had to bring more people in after that. So that was when it kind of got a little easier, because then I could take Dad from listening to me and kind of set him as like a manager and tell him to delegate work to the other employees. So I would just say, look, today we have to get this, and this done. And then he would delegate the work. So bringing more employees in early on really helped my dad get on board with the plan that I had. And I would say it wasn't until my TV show happened that he actually started to just like stop fighting me and be like, okay, I trust that what you are doing is the right thing. I'm like, okay, good. It only took till 30. So that was.
That's cool. And it's tough for parents to let go of the parenting mode, right? And them knowing better, right? They still do, right? They always know better, but sometimes they have to let go. And that's cool. Where are you? A lot of shops are struggling with, I want to get into marketing stuff, but a lot of shops are struggling finding good techs, especially when it comes to techs that know what dwell is and what points are and condensers and things like that, right? Where are you finding your people?
This is not a dig at anyone, I'm looking at like retirement homes. Honestly, everybody thinks you have to hire young. My wife and I figured out that our target is actually older retired men. So we kind of have this program that most people do with like younger kids that are in school. They let them work part time. I have a part time work program for older retired techs. So I collect them. And what is I have 2 or 3 older guys that are retired master techs that one works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the other works Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the other works Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So they're able to do whatever they want in their daily lives. And then 3 days a week, I get these guys that know things that aren't written in books because they've been a tech working in the industry since some of these cars were actually new. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that this business model isn't going to work forever. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to find as many classic retired techs as I can while finding very, very young techs that are eager to learn. And I do this thing where I pair them up. So I put one of the young guys with one of the old guys, and I kind of explained to them, like, if you've ever seen the movie Gran Torino, my shop is kind of similar to that in the mindset of these old guys they're just like, these kids don't know anything. They're useless, blah, blah, blah.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn. You're turning the wrench wrong. What the hell? And they're just yelling and screaming at them. And I say to these kids, if I think that they have thick enough skin, I'm like, I want you to learn from one of these miserable old men because they're actually the best teachers you will ever freaking find.
Right.
So once they get by and the older guy starts respecting the younger guy, then it's this like pop-up grandson thing, and it works. It's just those first couple months are rough. It's like, am I going to have an HR claim? Like, I don't know. Like, who said something that's not culturally appropriate? Like,
it's kind of like oil and water, kind of a mixture at first, I would imagine, right? So similar to like you and your dad. Is like now you have that, you've created that same scenario in your shop, but I have to tell you, I have to tell you, like, I think that your tactic is actually pretty brilliant, right? Like you thought outside the box and you thought of a way to create a solution in an industry, just like we talked about, that is significantly aging out because that knowledge is generational knowledge. It is not something that, they written down, that they created SOPs for. Like, it's here and that's where it stays until they're no longer, right? So I think you being able to tap into that market and the way that you've done it, truly, I mean, I think that that's pretty damn brilliant.
It's huge because we've talked to so many shop owners and they're looking at WyoTech and looking at other schools. And I think that's great. This is a different spin on it that makes sense because I can say, there's a lot of people I've talked to that go, they worked in the industry for years. They want to retire, right? And then they retire and realize, what am I going to do? I can't sit home and watch TV all day, but I don't want to manage the business. I don't want to manage employees. I don't want to deal with that, but I'm good at what I know. Right. So I think that's huge. And I hope other shops hear that, and other shop owners too. They have, well, we got a big country here. So Tony, I don't think you have to worry about that. But the big thing is a lot of shop owners we've talked to, they're not huge shops. They don't have a ton of time to spend on training.
Yeah.
They need to bring somebody in that knows their shit right away. And I like this concept of bringing in retired people that are their master techs. And just the big thing is getting them to go, please take the time with this guy, train him. Right. I know he'll be good. You need to be patient with him. Don't swear at him. Stop yelling at him. Just show him. Become a mentor, right? And teach this young gentleman that wants to learn this stuff, because I have to run my business. I don't have time.
Right. But going back to the exact example that you gave, Barry, of Gran Turismo, where he is just like, I don't have the patience for you. I don't have the time for this. I really don't give a damn. Like there
That's
is
it.
that huge hurdle, right, to get through before they finally get to the point. Exactly. Just like he did in the movie where he was like, okay, I see it and I appreciate it, right? And I think that that's where the beauty in that relationship is because 100% what you just said, Barry, is that they retire, they know that they've got a skill, they just don't want all the responsibility, but they still want something to do. They still want to feel like they're important, that they make a difference, that they make an impact, and that they're able to service the industry in some way that they still really passionately love. And the fact that you're able to tap into that and then tie them with a generation to share that knowledge, to learn from the best, as long as they can both have the patience to ride out the storm.
Oh, right. Absolutely. And Tony and Annette, I'm got people saying, hey, how long are you going to run your business? When are you going to retire? And I'm going, I'm not retiring because I don't know what the hell I'm going to do after. And my hobbies are expensive. And as you're talking about this, I went to school for auto services. At one point, I knew how to set dwell, and I'm sure it would come back really quickly, right? And it's like, man, maybe there's a shop I can, help out at, right? And do that for the fun of it without having to manage business and stuff. So you even gave me an idea of
future employee.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe I will move to
Pennsylvania a few days. Willing to take you on, pal. SEMA special. Come on in.
Yeah, I like PA. My niece lives down there. But anyways, Morgantown area. So
that's only about 40 minutes from me. It's close. I can be to Morgantown in 35 to 40.
Nice,
See, there you go.
Nice.
Like, I might have a weekday job now.
Yeah. All righty. Okay. I got to get my Corvette, my own stuff done first. Anyways, so this is a marketing podcast. At least it was. How?
Hey, we've talked about a bunch of stuff marketing. I think that he's absolutely been brilliant about his marketing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It sounds to me like you got a lot of work from word of mouth, things like that. But at some point you want to grow and things like that. How are you marketing your business? And what kind of tools are you using for that? What's your thoughts behind that?
So my marketing is different than probably 99.9% of the people that are listening or watching this podcast. I had a very lucky opportunity get set in front of me about 5 years ago, and I was given a TV show on Motor Trend. And that helped unbelievably. If you have a TV show on any platform, in the eyes of the viewer, that gives you instant credibility that you know what you're doing. Now, will I say I know everything? Hell no. I continue to learn every single day, and I'm only as good as my worst employee. So what I do essentially is mostly word of mouth, but as Barry and I had actually talked prior to the podcast, I've recently gotten into online marketing. I hired a social networking marketing company to not only handle Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of that stuff for me, but they create reels. They create all of these ads that pop up that either advertise my TV show or advertise my individual social media channels, which then builds awareness of me and directs traffic to my website, which in turn should hopefully direct a client to my shop.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Motorhead Digital. Motorhead Digital are digital marketing experts for your automotive aftermarket, restoration, performance, race, and restyling shop. They help you supercharge your shop's website, social media, and entire online presence to attract those badass customers you're looking for. Check us out at motorheaddigital.com.
It should be working because, like I said before we got on today, all I've been seeing is Last Chance, Lost Classics.
Yeah,
you selling a Viper. I'm like, isn't there anything else on social media? I'm seeing a lot of Tony here. Come on.
So you hired a company to do what I do. So that's awesome. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, same with, for both of us. Yeah.
It's only been, I think I hired the company. We started doing work in July, but our effective billing date was August 1st. So I mean, since the last 3 weeks of actually paying them, it's working out. My stuff is everywhere. I'm like, okay, good. I like that.
Yeah, 100%. I think that like one of the things I do want to touch on while we're on this subject real quickly is that it's a really good opportunity for businesses to get back time, right? So like that you're not an expert in doing all that social stuff and doing the ads and all those things, but trusting and investing in someone who, and I'm going to preface this because it's very specific, is in a company that actually knows the automotive space, right? And I say that because there are hundreds, if not thousands, of marketing companies out there that are like, I can do this business for you. I can do market your company. I can do all these things for you. But in the end, you're going to end up spending time to teach that company about what you do and about your industry because it's not where they specialize, right? So finding a company that knows the automotive space is truly going to be the game changer for you because you've automatically earned back time because you don't have to teach them about what you do.
Correct.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Tony. What I was going to add to that is we've had people come to us and say, I'm working with this company. They don't know their ass from a hole in the ground about cars or transportation. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We're going to talk to Motorhead Digital because you understand us, right? So it's huge.
And I think to bring up exactly what Annette said, the company that I hired isn't necessarily automotive. The reason I hired them is I contacted them about it, and they were going off of views and how to get in front of the right audiences. And I think what I really, really liked about them is it's not that they specialize in auto. They take the time to research the correct demographics that I'm looking for. So before I hired them, they told me to give them 20 influencers, channels, all of that I follow, and like the type of content I want to do. And they spent a good few weeks researching that, and they're like, I think we can target this right. And they sat down with me and, what's the target range? Do you want this? Do you want that? And like the list was huge. And I went through everything, and I'm like, well, I'm going to give it a shot. So I think we agreed to do like a 90-day trial to be like, so this is just a marketing firm. They don't specialize necessarily in auto, but one of the companies they work for is another classic car branded company.
They've had that experience, right? And the key here is they've done their homework. They ask you the right questions.
Correct.
Okay. There's a lot of marketing agencies out there that go, we know everything. We don't need to ask any questions. We're just going to do this. Right. And that's where you're running into trouble. And like Annette said, looking at outside to bring people in. And I've said this before on the show, I'm a big advocate of a book called Who Not How. It's definitely about, thinking about people that know how to do certain things, even if it's a master tech that you don't have anybody in your shop, right? It's the same concept, right? You know how to do this and you're the only one. Well, you need to get somebody else to do that because you got to run your shop. You have to work with clients. It's the same way with marketing stuff, right? Finding that company that can take that off your plate so you can focus on your builds, your customers, your team.
Oh God, yeah. Dead on. It's taking a task for time that I simply do not have. And also, I'm not great at that. Like this thing to me is one of the most complex devices. And I'm like,
you sound like my husband.
I get how my grandma felt when I would like hand her a phone and she's like, "Where's the cord? I don't know how this works. There's no button.
Where's my dial?
Like, yeah, where's the dial? Click, click, click. Hello. Like to me, I'm over here like I get how my grandma felt. Like I don't understand meta and integrating Instagram and Facebook, and you can post everything on one, but you have to have like an admin and this backdoor account of analytics. And I'm like, what happened to just taking a picture and writing a caption? This is my job now.
Yeah.
So it's wild that I was like, I think I'm going to have to hire a marketing firm to do this for me, but also is not going to bill me $1 million a month.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was hard to find
that sweet mix.
one.
Yeah, it is 100% finding that sweet mix of one is, like I'd said before, is getting back that time so you can focus on what your expertise is, right? Like you said, doing social is not where it's not your wheelhouse. But this is a really good topic to say, like, there are a lot of companies out there that can benefit from services like this, but a lot of those companies also are really in this position of like, they either don't see the value in it, or they think, well, my niece can do it. Or they also come at it from the perspective of, I don't want to invest that money because I can invest that money in my shop, because they just don't see the bigger picture of it, right? But it's really important that they understand that, like, I'm a big proponent of, if you don't invest in your own business, why would other people invest in you? Right?
Correct.
So from this perspective, like, this is you investing in your business. It is an aspect of your marketing, especially in today's age, whether you want it or not.
Oh yeah. And you nailed it with, well, my niece could, or one of my employees.
Right.
And my wife and I had talked about that early, and she was like, well, we have two managers that, like, they're busy, but they're not busy enough that they can't take a photo and do this and that. And I'm like, well, from everything that I'm reading, there's a thing called, analytics and hashtags and where to post it and the times. And I'm reading about it all, and I'm like, I wonder what it would cost me to have a marketing firm preset everything to auto load and all of that, and just tell them what I want, because like we have tried that, where like our employees will post things, or we will, and I think the video's great and the caption's great, and it'll get like 10 likes. And then I go to the advertising firm, and they're doing it in the first, like, I think we started trying them out in the early July, and they didn't charge me. So they said, we'll give you the first 3 weeks free, and then on August 1st, we'll send you a bill for August. 300 likes, 375, 450. And then now the profile changed to a professional one, so I can see how many viewed it. So I'm looking at it. Mine were like 100 views, 107. Now it's 9,000 views. I'm like, 9,000 views? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I didn't pay for that. Like, nothing was charged. It was just posted with the right links, tagging the right stuff at the right time, and it was like targeted audiences. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, to me, this is worth it, because then it'll grow my following to the point where I can make money on the back end of that, and it's passive income that will hopefully pay that.
One thing that you had said.
Go ahead. Sorry, Barry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, that's kind of the cool part, is that, like, now for my business, like, I've gotten to a point now, luckily, which I'm super excited about, where like I can monetize mine, right? So it's nice every now and then when you see that little, like you see that little notice come through from Meta, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. It's not a lot, but it's still something.
No, me. I was like, Meta's paying me how much? Oh my God, 27 cents. Hell yeah. I can go buy a single pack of gum. Look at that. Yeah, all from taking pictures.
I want to know where you're getting a single pack of gum for 27 cents. But you had mentioned about your team. As an agency, we work remotely, and one of the struggles we have is getting content from the customer. So the biggest thing that, and I'm not going to speak for this agency, they may not want it, they may be close to you, but getting images from the shop, little snippets, reels of what's going on in the shop, helps out that agent so they can take that and make reels, give them stuff, give them content to take. Don't think a lot about it. Just snap stuff. Yeah. We have one customer that we get videos of the floor.
Of the floor?
They don't pay attention to what they're shooting. It's
and they
useless
send
stuff.
it like, what is it? Like, do you not look at what you send before you send it? You're just like, oh, this is a cool picture of my floor. Here you go.
Yeah, Grace is going, I got 30 videos, 2 work, the rest are like out of focus or of the floor or So
yeah, the feet finder thing, that might be profitable, but I don't know if that really goes with the automotive segment.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is they're not paying attention to what they're sending. But if you do pay attention, any marketing agency will take what you have and they can use some of it, right? That helps them, right? To see what's going on, and especially with a restoration shop. Though the videos I watch the most when I'm scrolling through Instagram are guys talking about what they're doing on a specific build or something, or showing like a little tutorial of, hey, this is why we did this and this is the parts we used and blah blah blah, things like that. I wanted to go back to Motor Trend and because you said the getting on TV was huge for your business.
Very big.
How did that come about, and what can other shop owners that say, I think a TV show would be cool? Unfortunately, all the Motor Trend stuff's gone away. But there's also lots of other stuff popping up. So
today's podcast is sponsored by Annette Bauer Creative. At Annette Bauer Creative, we understand the power of visual storytelling in transforming brands and driving growth. From capturing the essence of your products and services to showcasing the unique solutions you offer, our professional imagery and reels help bring your brand to life. Fuel your brand and ignite your vision at AnnetteBauerCreative.com.
So it was interesting. It didn't just happen overnight. About 7 years before that, I don't know if any of you remember watching the show Fast and Loud.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The bearded wonder, Aaron Kaufman, one day just walked off. He goes, I quit. Bye. So Discovery was kind of panicked because they were in the middle of filming the season and they needed somebody now. So what they did was they finished the season without him, but to film the next season, that was their most profitable show ever. They needed a tech immediately. So they reached out to an independent casting group, and the independent casting group sent them every mechanic that they had. And what I've learned over the years is apparently a charismatic mechanic is incredibly rare. So they put out an open casting call on Facebook, and I was probably tagged by 20 people. They're like, you have to do this. You have to. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. Yeah, and I'm like, no. So Friday night comes along. The girl I was with, we're at her house watching television. I get tagged again. She's like, you should do it. Come on. They're not going to call you, but you should do it just to say I did it. Because if you don't, you're going to be like, I should have. All right, fine. Bourbon, mix my drink up, sit down, type the thing. I write this 500-word bio, send them a photo. I write this thing. I've done this and this and this and this and blah, blah, blah. Oh, and by the way, I'm 23. And I look like I am 12, and my family-run business is owned by me, and I employ my father. Send. And within 30 minutes, my phone rang. And I was like, did you tell somebody? Okay. Oh, this is Discovery Channel. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bye. And it rang, and she's like, I didn't tell anybody. My phone's been on the charger the whole time. I'm like, who did you tell? And I'm like, okay, Discovery, right? And they're like, yeah, no, sir, this really is Discovery Channel. We received your thing. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, hi. Hey, hi. Yeah. Sorry, I thought somebody was like pranking me because my friends are freaking assholes. But yeah. So we're talking back and forth, and they're like, you're funny. And I'm like, nah, I'm just me. So They go, can you get on a Zoom call tomorrow? Sure, get on the Zoom call. We start talking back and forth, and they were like, we need to tell you this. We've interviewed like 50 people. You have more charisma than all of them.
Really?
We're gonna fly you here. And I'm like, I watch TV all the time. There's a million people that have more charisma than me. They were like, but they're not mechanics. That's the big deal. So they fly me out there. I interview. I make it all the way through. You're the guy. You're the guy. You're the guy. Well, they fly me home. We're going to call you. And then a few weeks goes by and they're like, hey, we loved you, but we went in a different direction. The problem that we see is that your personality is so loud and Richard is also loud. So the two of you together would just be loud and loud, which we don't know if that'll continue being the magic sauce that this show needs. And I go, okay, thank you. And they said something that I thought was the biggest line of bull ever. They go, we're going to keep your casting reels and call you when something else comes up. Yeah, okay. Right. That's what you tell everyone. Well, over the next 7 years, I got called 2 to 3 times a year for various roles. Hey, this is so-and-so from Netflix. This is so-and-so from Hulu. This is so-and-so from History, Speed Channel. All of these channels kept calling me. I'm like, okay. Discovery, Motor Trend. And I got flown everywhere. Audition. And every single time, knock on wood, I made it to the final round every single time. And there was always somebody that was just a little bit better than me or fit the role better. And then, and then the last one where I actually said, I am done.
Yeah.
3 months before I got offered my show, I was auditioned for a show called Hot Rod Garage. Mm-hmm. So they called me up to replace Tony Angelo, and Tony Angelo left. And the story, I've told this for many, many years because I was salty about it for a long time. And what they had said to me was, we love you. You're the right fit. Motor Trend Corporate wants you. Their showrunner, I don't know if he wants you or not, but we're going to lean on them to hire you because your name has been tossed around at corporate a lot for the last 7 years. We think this would be the perfect fit. Okay. They call me back and they go, Tony, we have a little problem. While I think you are the perfect fit, we've run into 2 problems. You are replacing somebody named, replacing a 30-something Italian guy with tattoos, glasses, and a beard named Tony from Philly. And you are a 30-something Italian guy, tattoo with glasses and a beard named Tony from Philly. You're literally the same guy. That's the first problem. The second problem is we think ratings would go up if we hired a female. So even though you are the most qualified one that we currently have, we found someone a little less qualified, but she's hot. So we're going to hire her. I'm like, okay. And the amount of rage that I had from that, and I'll say this publicly. Since that particular day, I have had this completely irrational, I wouldn't say hate, but I am not a fan of the person that got my role. And right. What I have heard is she's the nicest person ever. And I know when I eventually meet her, I'm going to love her. But because the network told me they picked her, instantly I was like, that could have been me. So I have this weird, I don't like you, but secretly I'm like, good for her. So it's I'm clearly I'm freaking over it, but I look as if I had gotten that particular role, I would be in the same boat she is now. So one, I have a bunch of sponsors, which is great. But two, she's blocked out because Motor Trend ended. All of their non-compete clauses went into effect. Motor Trend ended with me, and I was a freshman series. My non-compete was like 90 days. So I was able to go on and get my own show again, whereas I don't think they're allowed to film a TV show again until like 2028.
No kidding. Wow. Really? Yeah. So rule number one, everything happens for a reason.
Correct. I wouldn't have gotten my own show if that had happened. So after that devastating blow, I actually called the casting guy and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Thank you. There's only so much heartbreak I can handle. And I think I'm effectively done. And a week after my wedding in 2022, I get an Instagram message from a lady. Hey, I work for so-and-so. Your info came across my desk. Your casting reel, excuse me. We'd like to know if you want to do a show. And I'm like, I told my guy no. So I text him like, who is this? And they go, she's from one of the largest casting agencies for automotive reality shows in the country. And they're reaching out to you directly through Instagram. Call her. I'm like, all right, fine. So I call her, my usual me, loud, obnoxious, but like fun-ish. One of my producers refers to me as church tongue, if you've ever heard of that. Have you seen the movie The Wedding Singer?
Yes.
Drew Barrymore is like practicing kissing. And they're like, what's the appropriate amount of tongue that's like God's not going to get mad? Church tongue. So my producer refers to me as church tongue. I'm just the right amount of like offensive that it's funny, but not over. So my church tongueness comes out. And they go, we're bypassing everybody. We're sending you directly to the lead producer. And it turns out the lead producer was an amazing guy named Joe Weinstock, who created and produced Duck Dynasty. So he called me and said, hey, I want you. I looked at all these. I like you. You're funny. You're personable. I want you. Okay. And then within 9 months, we were filming a show, which was wild. And it wound up on Motor Trend, which was like the biggest, like, what's up, guys? I'm back.
Nice.
Got in through the back door. Hey. And then they canceled the network right as my show launched. My show launched in March, and the network got shut down 2 weeks prior. So I was the last show to go up, and ratings didn't matter because at that point the network
was already done. Yeah.
So I look at like I could have what my competitor had on the last show, and she's got corporate sponsors, and that's great. And I'm sure she's probably the nicest person on the planet. But if I had taken that role, I wouldn't have had the opportunities I have now to have two shows. Yeah. So now I've got corporate sponsors. It led me to being involved with SEMA, and it led me to being involved with many other things that Motor Trend would have kept me on
exclusively
a leash. Whereas not being involved with Motor Trend gave me the freedom to do whatever I wanted. So while I was salty for a while that I didn't get the role on Hot Rod Garage, and I did hold a little animosity towards Alex for a long time. I haven't met her. I'm sure she's great, Alex. I'm sorry, but I'd like to meet you. But it's one of those where like I had like serious FOMO, and now that I have this and my life is going well, now I'm like exactly what Barry said. Everything happened for a reason. So
if it does make you feel any better, Alex is a really nice person. She is actually a really great person. Her and her sister and her dad, like they're all really great people.
So like, yes, I like, and that like, I think bothered me more that I had never heard a negative thing about her ever. I'm like, there's got to be something wrong with her. Like, why couldn't it be me? It could have been anyone whoever got that role. I would have felt that way. And I think what's actually made it like easier as the years have gone by is that like according to everyone, she's perfect. Like she's just so nice and all that. I'm like, all right. Yeah. I'm not mad.
You're right. And I mean, I get the whole being salty part of it because you put so much into it, right? Like you said, like you put your
like 15th time being told you're the guy.
Like, to not be the guy. But yeah, I also do agree that you are all of those things, right? Like you are a very charismatic guy. You're very funny. You're very animated. You are very big, right? Like your personality is very big. So I understand 100% why the networks would be like drawn to you. But with that being said, like I said, if it makes you feel any better or salty, she's very nice.
Well, thanks. Alex, if you are watching this, disregard everything I just said. I would love to meet you finally.
Yeah, I've followed her for a long time, and her sister, right? And based on everything I've seen, what Annette said, I would believe that, right? She's got a badass 55 drag car too, so it's like that car is freaking badass. So love to meet her myself.
Her sister is an incredible photographer, so she is an amazing woman.
Yeah, that was the thing to me that was wild is that like I followed her since before that. Right. Drag week to me was always like the coolest thing. In fact, in 3 weeks, I'm leaving to go on drag week. I was invited. Thank you, Hot Rod Magazine, for letting me on drag week. It only took me being a host to get on drag week.
But man, I'm telling you, it will be an experience you will not forget. Doing a drag and drive is one of the coolest things I've ever done.
So I had followed her since she was in Hot Rod Magazine years ago. I'm like, this girl's cool as hell. A Camaro drag car and she's 17. This is awesome. So I followed her and like everything she would, I'm like, this is great. And then I find out it's her and I'm like, hey. Yeah. Oh my God. Why?
We are no longer friends.
You are no longer friends. You are not invited to my cat's birthday. Like it's like that's what happened. And I was like, my wife is like, you have this completely irrational hatred to. I'm like, I don't hate her. It's jealousy. It's exactly jealousy. I'm not afraid to say I am jealous that she got that particular role. But then as time goes on, I'm like, you know what? Good for her. Because if I got that, I know for a fact I would not be talking to the two of you right now.
Right. Yeah. And I mean exactly what Barry said, right? Like everything happens for a reason. And but where you're supposed to be is where you are right now.
I am here, and you're right. That's exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Nice. It's hard too, because initially you're like, oh my God, and then you're months, days, years, weeks later, you go, I know why that happened, and it was good. So, the moral of the story is anybody that feel that has an opportunity to even submit to a show, and you feel that you can do that and you're good, and you've had people tell you, we've heard about friends saying you need to be a stand-up comic because you're great, and no, go for it, don't be scared to, but there is a grind, right? How many times did you get rejected, right?
Oh God, dozens. And I think the thing that I should have done, I never told anyone. My parents knew, my wife knew. That's it.
Yeah.
And as years and years and years went on of 20 plus tryouts where it was always, you're the guy, sorry. You're the guy, sorry. And I finally got it. And I could tell everyone then it was like the haters on, me to Alex, the people for, me are like, he was handed a TV show. They didn't see the 7 years of tryouts that I had done for network and honing in and getting speech therapy to help with my speech problem, and being able to talk in front of a camera, and working with an anxiety coach to not be afraid to talk to a camera. Like, all of the self growth I had to do to improve myself as a sellable asset to a network, which is wild. Nobody saw that.
You touch on a super good point here, right? And this actually taps into how Barry and I met, which was when it comes to being live on camera, whether it's like for a TV show, right? If it's for a series, if it's just for your social media, whatever it might be, is getting to a point where you as an owner are comfortable with being vulnerable is very challenging, right? Like, there are so many people that literally clam up when they get in front of the camera. They overthink everything that they say or what. Yeah. Well, I look stupid. That sounds dumb. Like all these things.
I look stupid for a living. It's great.
But the authenticity behind it is what makes people love you, right? Like, because they can resonate with you. You're real. You're not overproduced. You're just, you're there. Just like you would have a conversation with somebody that you met at a car show. That is the person that everybody wants to see on camera, because that's who they love, right? That's who they can build a friendship with. 100%. They can build that trust with. So like, that is the big part of it. Like, I literally have 3 clients right now who are kind of in that same boat of like, oh, I'm super uncomfortable with it. I don't know what to say. I look stupid. And I'm like, you don't. Just be okay with being vulnerable.
Well, you know, that's, you know, like Annette said, I was on stage speaking, and I can tell you, I've spoke at the SEMA show 5 times in the last 4 years. We'll be speaking for ARMO this year again. And it scares the living crap out of me every time I step up on that stage, but I just do it and let it go. And you just have to, you know, get past that. It's hard and it's easy for me to say, right? But also Annette knows this, that I'm not best at getting in front of my camera and doing stuff. I'll do 30 takes and then never post it. So
here's a fun fact about myself. Fun fact about myself is that if I am in a crowd of 10 or less people, hands down, 100%, unless I'm doing it by myself, I will be nervous as all get out. But put me in front of a group of 10 or more, and I am totally good. I have no issues whatsoever. But reduce that crowd, and I'm like,
it's weird. Like, I always struggled my whole life with like public speaking. As a kid, my speech impediment was horrible. Every single word was a blockage, elongation, and which when you have that, your confidence is in the toilet. So because you have no confidence, on top of not being able to talk, you're in this tiny shell. And believe it or not, I was once in a shell. Shocker that my head fit large. But I got out of it. And when the TV thing happened, the first 2 weeks of filming, every little screw up I had, I'd be like, cut, refilm. Now it's like the most freeing thing. The camera's there. Whatever you say, just say it. They'll piece it together. But now, like Barry said, being in front of a camera is different than being in front of a crowd. And when they're filming a TV show for me, there's typically like 20 people behind the camera, and I'm fine. I actually flourish with a bigger group. Like, I turn it on. Like,
I don't time stop. We're doing our council thing. Our group went in front of that backdrop, and you were killing it. I'm like, okay, I'm leaving because I'm not going to. Because there was our council there, and we did these little clips about ARMO, and I got up there and go, I don't know what I'm going to say. And then Tony comes up, it's like, boom, boom, boom. Did like 5 takes, but it was great. And I never thought of what's that.
I did mine in 1. I was the very first person to go up in my group, and I was like, because all the other ladies were like, oh, you know, like, mine's going to take a minute. And I'm like, great. Mine's going to take like five, like just a quick thing. I'm like, I know what I need to say. I got up at 1 take, done.
I think I did mine in one take, but I if you ever see it, because I look back and I don't know if I was happy with it, but we also did some other stuff out in the grass outside. And I know exactly what you're talking about, and that with speaking to a large group versus speaking to the camera in the small groups there, because all my Armo people were at both times were there. I'm like, I just felt I didn't like it.
For me, I hadn't really met anyone yet. Like, we were there for like 2 days. I didn't know them, but I just went in that like zone and I did it. But what we realized was the first take was perfect. The microphone was off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
They wanted me to do it again. And then you're like, then you get in your freaking head, like, what did I say? So then it's like 5 takes, 7 takes. And I'm like, I don't remember what I said. They're like, that was perfect. Oh shit, the microphone was off. I'm like, God. So now I'm like, I can't catch lightning in a bottle twice. You know how hard it is? I'm just zapped all over the place. And it was like, I can catch some fireflies and jam them in there. And that's what I wound up doing, was like, they had lightning the first round. The second round was a shaken glass of fireflies.
Okay, that's why you did like 7 takes. I remember the mic being off. And
I remember what I said. I'd like go like brain dead and just like, camera time. Hey guys, what's up?
Right.
That's
why I was like, just let me go first. Because if I go first, then I haven't watched anybody else's stuff. I can just knock out what I want to say and be done with it. Like, I am very big. Like, so that's like a big theme in my house, is like anything that is new, I do first. Like, weirdly enough, like if we go out and we buy a new firearm, like I'm the first person who fires it, no matter what, because I don't want to watch and make the decision like, oh, like I didn't like something about that, and then get in my head about it. Just let me do it first, and then we'll move on from there. That's like the theme in my house.
Yeah, that's probably why I was second and I followed Jason. So it's like, he's got it all figured out and he's on camera.
It's actually good, but then it's like you look at like strengths. Who does this more? And then like afterwards, I kind of felt like bad because I was like, guys, I do this as a job. So like, I don't want you guys to feel bad that you're not doing what I do. Like, this is what a company pays to do as a job. Like, it was fun. But yeah, I got up there and I was like, bang, bang, boom, woohoo, big energy.
No mic.
Yeah, he didn't need a mic. Come on.
Once you. Uncle Barry said so. Put him in a big hat and a beard. Uncle Barry wants you for SEMA. That's actually not a bad idea.
See, Barry, you should hire him to do some stuff for you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
As Uncle Sam, Uncle Barry wants you for.
I keep spending money on little gadgets so I can talk to my phone and teleprompters and all that. I got more money in junk I don't even use.
You do know that your spending on your gadgets is a form of you trying to overthink, right? You do recognize.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I can sit here on this podcast all day and talk to our guests and you, but I can't do a video by myself.
That's because you overthink what you're putting out there.
Yep.
If somebody's holding it and filming me, I'm fine. If I have to film it myself, 10 takes.
There you go. See, I'm not the only one.
I don't know why I'm so critical when I'm the only one here, but it's like I'm more me when I'm in front of people than when I'm alone. I think when I'm alone, the voice in my head's like, you screwed up, do it again. And you're like, why?
Okay.
I thought it was. It's not. Okay.
Oh my gosh. So I absolutely love this episode. You've been so awesome, Tony. And we've talked about a lot of really great things, from figuring out how you got started in automotive to how you built your business to how you got your show and how you are a bigger than life personality, which I absolutely adore. So I'm super happy that I got to meet you at the SEMA Councils and Networks event. Yeah. And we finish off every podcast with a speed round. And in this speed round, we really kind of want that what comes to the top of your mind response. I don't want you to put too much thought into it. So, yep, exactly.
So, just clear my throat.
Okay. Do you need to get a beverage? Yep, there you go. Get ready. be poised.
These are tough questions, though, man. I don't know if you can. Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. What is your favorite driver, team, hot rod, muscle car, or truck? Whatever suits your fancy.
Driver or truck?
Driver,
like
team,
like
hot rod, car, or truck.
Oh God. By terms, I'm a truck guy. I would really like an SRT 10 two-door stick. I think that's cool. But car-wise, a good muscle car, you can't beat it. I would take like a late 60s Chevelle with a big block, bigger stuff. My dad's had a 69 Camaro since he was 17, and I sit in it. And while it's a fun car, I feel a little cramped. A Chevelle, I can sit with my arm up, shift the gears, comfy. I like that.
I love the animation.
What's up, man?
Part of the reason why he has his own TV show now.
Right.
You're learning. Yeah.
Right. All right. So this is an important one, especially given what you do. What is your favorite tool in your toolbox?
Oh, the torch. The acetylene torch can't be stuck if it's a liquid.
That is
that
true.
That is my favorite tool. I use that thing for everything. Heat it
and
up.
It comes off like butter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or it melts off. One of the
It's like your own personal lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. Acetylene torch all day.
Awesome. We've not heard that one before.
That was easy.
Nice. That's a new one for sure.
Yeah.
Acetylene torch.
All right. So what is your favorite racetrack, auto event, or show?
That's a good one. My favorite racetrack is Maple Grove. That's the track I grew up going to. It's actually one of the fastest tracks in the country because of where it's at.
Yes. And it's beautiful. It is hands down beautiful. Been there multiple times.
My niece lives like she could ride her bike to the track.
Oh, good.
I'm jealous. Yeah.
Favorite event, meaning like car show or automotive themed event?
Auto event. Can be anything.
I think we all know the answer. SEMA show. That's my favorite event, hands down. I see every friend I've ever met there, and it's a big week of just your buddies, your friends, everybody's there. You get to see cool stuff, and car show wise, that's the best car show. Yeah. It's wild. Yeah. The most insane things you've ever dreamt of are there. Yeah. So SEMA show, Maple Grove.
Perfect. Love it. And then now this is the last question, and this one stumps everybody. And maybe you'll be different. So let's see. But what is the best advice you've ever received and from whom?
I can tell you that, actually. This is something that's been in the back of my head since I started. My dad's former business partner, my Uncle Steve, he actually passed away back in March. He told me day one, never be afraid to charge what your time is worth. And that has been in the back of my head since day one. You went through schooling, you bought a building, tools, training. You have so much money invested in your ability to do what you do. You should not be afraid to charge what your hardworking time is worth.
Yeah, don't 100%. Undervalue your skills, your time you put into it, and things like that. And because a lot of people say, this is what the industry is charging. Well, that's the industry. You need to look at what you're doing.
Yeah, never be afraid to charge what your time is worth.
I love that. I'm very in support of that statement because especially in my, side of the industry where I do a lot of the visual stuff for photography and videography stuff, is we have a lot of creatives in our industry who are willing, quite literally, it kills me, quite literally willing to spend all day at a racetrack and take photos and spend the money, the time, and charge $25 for a photo. And I'm like, I understand if you're getting started in this industry that you need to start somewhere, because we all started somewhere where we gave stuff away. But when you continue to position yourself there, not only do you undervalue what your skill is, but you undervalue what our creation and our industry is. And so for those of us who make money and living off of it, you now make it extremely difficult for us to do that, because people look at you and go, well, I can get that person to, get a picture for $25 and you want to sell it for whatever it is, like that. Why would I pay more? Because I have 25 years of experience and that person has 6 months.
Yeah, that's the same with the web development space, right? 500 people are building websites for $500 and $1,500, right? But they're not doing it well. And so that's the struggle that we have on the website dev side for sure.
And that was the same. I just had this conversation with a friend of mine Monday. Mm-hmm. My uncle put this in my head early on. We're in a business that most people think we're all robbing them. Mechanics are thieves. Mm-hmm. So my uncle early on was like, do not be afraid to charge what your time is worth, but your service has to be top notch. Mm-hmm. Now in automotive industry, it's looked at as like a dirty job. People are like, oh, you're a mechanic.
Yeah. You're somehow stupid.
But now, over the last 20 years, that freaking term has changed to technician. Yeah. And a technician is a more respected term. So early on, when I was marketing my shop, I would go to car shows and advertise, I'm cheaper than the dealer. And I had a guy with a collection of cars come up to me and go, you're great, love you. And I handed him the thing. He's like, I will never come there. And I go, why? He goes, you're advertising that you're cheaper than someone else. I'm like, that should make you want to come. He goes, my cars are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right. Why would I go to the cheaper guy? I don't care. He was like, cheaper means less quality. He was like, as a point of advice, get rid of the word cheap. Yeah. He actually really said, with your personality and your quality, I would pay more than the dealer to go to you, because I feel like I'm getting personalized service. And that stuck with me early. So between the client saying, I'm not bringing my car in, and my uncle, who never married, had planes, the beach house, the speedboat, a Rolls. He had everything. Right. I idolized him like he was God. And it was because he built this whole thing of, I know that my prices are not low, but I deliver a quality of service. Never be afraid to charge what your time is worth.
I love it.
Absolutely. That's like Annette said with photography. How do you know that $25 photograph didn't just come off the camera? It wasn't touched up. It wasn't looked at. It wasn't analyzed, because there's tools to make those photos just pop, right? And the same with website. There's so many people out there getting sued now because they paid $1,500 for a website, but they didn't have a privacy policy, didn't have ADA, all that. It works across all the industries. Right. And one of the things that to back that up is a lot of people will look at that and go, that's too cheap. They're going to skip things, right? Mm-hmm. So anyways, thanks for everybody for joining the episode. Tony, thanks for joining us today. It was amazing. We usually do 45 minutes in that. We're at an hour 38.
Yeah.
But, Tony, tell everyone where they can find you, how they can reach out, how they can see you on the TV.
Well, if you want to watch my show, Lost Classics airs on Roku anytime you want, or you can watch it on Speed Vision, which is a Prime Live channel, Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. For my first show, Last Chance Garage, that is still on Prime, HBO Max, and Discovery Plus. And if you just want to follow me, silly old me, Instagram, my Instagram handle is at D'Antonio.Tony. So D as in dog, D'Antonio without the apostrophe, .Tony. Check me out. Love to see you. And my website, D'AntonioAuto.com. That's it.
Do we have to pay extra for that 30-second commercial?
Well, I'm going to go and walk with my volunteer hours for SEMA. There you go. Because we're all SEMA people.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
It's 1.39 hours.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us at Gearheads and Gasoline podcast. And we really want to thank Tony for being on. You've been such a delight. We've had so much fun with you. But everybody continue to follow us and check out our new guests that are coming in as we move forward. And with that, thank you so much for Gearheads and Gasoline, fueling your success. We know you don't want to miss an episode, so don't forget to smash that bell so that you get notified of every new episode. Click that like button, leave us a comment, and share with your people. And visit us repeatedly. We love it.